I'm Deanna Lampisona. Here's a look at our top story we're following for you tonight.
So I just got back from my last day at Spectrum Bay News 9. It's been a great 6 weeks and I have learned so much and have grown way more than I thought that I could do in such a short amount of time. With the amount of internships that I've had, I've definitely been very fortunate and I've had a great and well-rounded learning experience, but nothing beats being able to go into a newsroom and feel the rush and see smiling faces and gain that hands-on experience that my previous virtual internships didn't really allow. I worked for Spectrum Bay News 9 out in St. Pete, and I was technically considered a general news intern. And I took that term quite literally because I got as much hands-on experience as I possibly could in almost every single department. I shadowed general news reporters and got the chance to help cover the lightning parade, which was honestly exhilarating. It was such a cool experience to see how they would cover a live event from start to finish. I helped a reporter with the Justice for All story, so I got to interview a senator for that story and also visit a African American museum and find out all about what they were doing to help the community. I also worked with some sports reporters, which was definitely different for me because I never had seen myself or considered myself somebody that would want to do sports, but I learned so much, and I also learned that there's a lot of room for creativity in sports, and I didn't really know that. I also got the chance to work really closely with their creative services department, and creative services is basically in charge of promotion and all the commercials and any kind of marketing, like visual marketing for Spectrum. So that being said, and since I've talked so much about what I've done, I'm gonna go ahead and show you a little bit of a montage of some work examples that I've put together to kind of encompass what my overall experience was like this summer. Let's take a look.
Now they say lightning never strikes the same place twice, but these Bolts fans beg to differ.
You learn a lot about someone from Instagram, but what about your shopping list? Is there a baby at home? Is there a dog in the house? Is somebody sick? These small bits of information that seem harmless could be dangerous if in the wrong hands.
Essentials like water and paper towels are no-brainers when it comes to prepping for a hurricane. But remember to stock up on things like diapers and dog food for the family members that can't remind you. If you're wondering why costs are rising, look up. The age of your roof matters. Also the age of your home and your coverage limits. Some roofs need to be 10 years or newer. It's no secret that virtual learning has been tough on kids, which is why doctors advise you to get outside and play a sport. Who doesn't love a good bedtime story? I know I do. But we all know the best ones are when a character learns something new or overcomes an obstacle. Right now, lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are still negotiating an infrastructure proposal. As we approach 20 years since the deadly attacks on September 11th, 1,600 Americans impacted by that tragic day are asking the president to release government records. But this week is a big one for Tampa Bay, a 9-game homestand against 3 teams, all in playoff contention. First up, the New York Yankees. Clearwater and Dunedin, you haven't seen much rain yet, but you will be soon as these storms start moving inward.
I come in on my days off and I'm willing to put in the work that most people aren't. I want to get to where I'm going twice as fast as the next guy that might be at home, either going at a steady pace or not going at the pace that I'm at. I think it's important to be the kind of person that when you walk into a room, people don't look at you and say, that person doesn't know how to do their job. You're the person that needs to be in the room because you know how to do your job so well. And that's the kind of person that I consider myself to be. So as these numbers continue to rise and apartment complexes increase their rent annually, what might you recommend to a family who is just making ends meet? Fortunately enough for me, I was able to create so many great connections all across the US that will hopefully help me and guide me to where I am supposed to be next. It's also really cool that I was able to anchor because nobody else really had the privilege or the opportunity to be able to do that. I really don't have any negative critique of this experience. I had the best summer ever. All I did was work, but yet it was so much fun and I wouldn't have had it any other way. I had a very great boss who allowed me to be very hands-on and allowed me to be the curious cat that I am. She gave me a lot of guidance about life, about news, about everything, and you don't get that everywhere, so I feel very grateful for that. Spectrum also treated me like a family. They treated everyone like a family, and that's something that's really great about a company culture. We were able to hear from keynote speakers, and that was really awesome too because it just showed that they want to help us grow. And I'm really fortunate that I was able to experience that and be a part of that and also make some friends along the way. I always have my next goal and my next move in mind. I'm graduating in 4 months and I want to gain as much experience and keep my skills as sharp as they possibly can be up until then. So hopefully we'll check back in 4 months and see how it goes.